our agenda today, React.js. What is React.js? What is React.js? Prerequisite is for the React. That it comes under the what exactly React? When to use the React? So finally, 3 W's we are going to see. Right. When, what, why. It gives you the clarity. Right. So guys, I want you you should be a vocal whatever you know, because at 100% you guys might have gone through some content. So I want more interactive this session. So whatever it may be, whether it is correct or incorrect, it doesn't matter, but more interactive. I would prefer more interactive. Yes. Let's begin with React.js.
React.js is a library, sir. JavaScript based.
React.js, 100% correct. JavaScript library. Okay. What else? Ramya? Ramya, you're on mute. Yes. What else? You can
It
refer
will
Google. Yeah, you can refer Google. I'm very happy if you refer Google. But I won't answer. Yes, meanwhile, Pavitra and Rakesh also. You can refer Google and tell me what exactly the React is. Yes, Pavitra.
uh, it is JavaScript library used for building user interfaces.
Use to build user interfaces. That means web pages.
Yeah.
Nothing but that is nothing but web pages.
Web
Yes.
pages. Yeah. We
Right.
can use our own components.
Okay. Yeah. Components. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that,
Mm.
Rakesh. You're on mute, Rakesh.
Actually, I don't know, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me explore more on the first statement and second statement. JavaScript library. First of all, what is library? Library in general, when we go for library, we'll have some ready-made books. So library means ready-made solutions will be there. So what is the use of that? So no need it saves a lot of developer times, because so let's say for example we want to put a calendar control with the time. So in generally in our earlier days of my career, we used to write the HTML code, CSS and JavaScript to let's say for example like kind of this kind of a window if you want to implement. So it's a developer responsibility to design the UI and the functionality and whatever. So developer has to developer used to develop the implementation from scratch onwards. But when I have a ready-made solution, I just import this solution and I can start using that. I can concentrate more on the functionality and the integration test. That is the benefit, because if we have a ready-made solution, why should we start developing from the scratch? So I'll go through that. I'll verify the documentation. I'll create one sample response, and if that sample response is so reviewed by the team and everything is perfect to our requirement, and then I start using that. So that is, so half of the developer time will save, and developer can concentrate more on the functionality and the domain experience. That is one. Why we need this library? Because see, we have a strong JavaScript. Nowadays, earlier it was not like that. But when we have a modern JavaScript, which is also very robust, like any other front-end technology, but still, why we need this a new one? Because still we can implement any website or any HTML page with a general HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Why we need this React.js? Why? What is not there in a JavaScript? What is there in a React.js? That's why, because yeah, any software cannot fulfill our business requirement, not client requirements 100%. Maybe one or two features or three features, four features, maybe there may be some lag. So to fulfill that gap, people or organizations invents the new software to fill the gap between the business and the business requirement versus customer. So something was missing in the JavaScript or normal web development. Something was missing, which is not satisfied for the business requirements. So hence we have this latest front-end technology to fulfill that gap. Yeah. Second one is used to build the user interface. Yes, obviously. Yeah, front-end means HTML. Yeah, especially what kind of website we are going to implement. SPA, single page applications. What that mean? Yeah, it means it won't have one single page. Through a whole application can be operated from a single page. That is called a single page application. The very best example is, as we discussed in the introduction class, let's take a simple Wikipedia wiki page. So when we click the hyperlinks, internal links, I'm not talking about the external links, internal links only. Either we navigate to top or bottom, we will be in the same page, and even we will not observe the page refresh also. But when we take any other websites, when we navigate or when we click the hyperlink, we clearly identify that we are navigating into new page. There will be also physically the file is redirected to the new files. But when the same we operate in a wiki page, right? Even we won't see that we are redirected to another page, but still it is, it behaves like we are navigating in the same page. So single page means we will have a multiple pages, but from the single page we will operate the whole application. What is the benefit of that? Right. When you take any normal website which implemented in a Java or .NET, when you navigate from one page to another page, the location, the address of the web page also, changes from abc.html to xyz.html. What is wrong with that? When when user navigating from one page to another page, browser has to remove the all references and the memory allocated for that page, and it has to allocate the resources for the new page. So what happens? Again, user is navigating from forth and back to the same XYZ page to ABC page. Every time browser has to clear all the resources and allocating to the new page, which is burden on the browser. See, doing the same operation without any, even user not changing any data, just back and forth he is navigating. So lot of resources, lot of CPU time get wasted. So what we do, and also it is not what we do when we navigate to the second page, obviously we see some output, some new HTML. Let's say if we have a mechanism where we make one of the web page as a parent page. So when user click the hyperlink, it's just to send a request to that particular page and take the response and rewrite here, so that we will not have any navigation page reload, so that Browser won't clear the current references and then allocate the new resources, memory or whatever to the fresh, because we are not totally navigating, we are not totally redirecting to the page. We send the request and receive the HTML and read it in the same page. That's where we see in the wiki page. So even though we click the hyperlink, the request go to the child page and take the response and then rewrite there. So that's why we won't see any page reloads or refreshes or navigations when we work with a wiki page. That is called a single page application. Clear, guys? Rakesh, Ramya, Pavitra,
Yeah.
Firoz.
Yes.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ramya,
Yes, sir. Clear.
Rakesh. Right. Rakesh, you can interrupt me if you're not able to understand the concept. Firoz, clear, right?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Right. And that is not the only thing. The main drawback of normal development, right? For a single update, let's say, for example, you have filled lot of information in a web page. You submit the button. Somehow you did not enter the location. When we click the submit button, obviously our JavaScript code start validating the data. Right. It validated all the data and it found that one of the important data was missing. So it thrown an error message saying that location was missing. And user has entered that location. Again, click the submit button. In generally, what happened, right? Again, you start developing the whole data, which is not required, because after one row for initial validation only, we came to know that this data is missing. If again it start validating, what is the use of that? That is one drawback. And also what happens, right? Okay, validation. Okay, it validates the whole data for a single data. And also it has to update the data according to the update. See, earlier location was not updated. Now location has entered by the user. When we click the submit button, again it has to reload your whole page with the new data. For a single, we have 30 columns and we entered only one column. For that single column, again it rearranged the HTML, whatever the design of our page. So if we are doing again and again, see such a small things again, it reloading or refreshing the whole page, which is burden on the browser, right? That is second drawback. And also, when we refresh or reload, data should not change, right? See, when we update the location as India and when we click the submit button, the location should be India, and also the position of the control should be there only. If after the submit, if the position of that location appears somewhere else, the control HTML control somewhere else, top corner of the right, something like that, your design, our design should not change. Who will remember? Browser has to remember. Our code won't remember anything. So browser has to remember the position of the HTML control, where exactly, what is height and width and longitude and latitude, and what is the data associated with. You should maintain the same before and after refresh or submit. So it is really, I tell you, for us it is only just submit button or only refresh button back and forth. But browser, it took a lot of pain, because such a simple application doesn't matter. But when you consider any gaming application or any streaming application, see, right, when we watching the YouTube video, then when we navigate to another video again, when we come back from there onwards, it won't start from the starting. So that's where remembering the state of our content. So when you are doing again and again same operation without any meaningful actions, obviously again burden on the browser. So these are the drawbacks there with a normal development like Java or .NET or normal HTML, CSS, JavaScript. To overcome all this, we have a React.js. What React.js will do? React.js simply remember the state or status, I can say, status of our page. Let's say we have a two text boxes, first name, full name. First name, second name. Right. First name and second name. First name, initially when we run the application, initially I entered Siva. Second name, Naga. Right. Okay. And then I click the submit button. Data has saved in a database and same is displaying on the browser. Fine. Next time what I did, right? I changed the Siva to something and I did not change anything second name. Again, I click this submit button. When we run the application, our React remembers the Siva and Naga, the values. It stores. When next time we update the data and click the submit button, what happens? Right? It compares the previous value and the current value. See, yes, Siva became Siva, so that it detects, hey, this is some changes there. Okay, let's touch this part. And when it comes to second control, yes, earlier also Naga and now also Naga. No change. Okay. Don't touch this HTML part. Only re-updated this part. Okay. That's why the concept. That's why what happens, right? When we have a 10 lines of a code, only update is there in 8th line. Only that particular line get re-updated. So that we save the lot of resources. We save the lot of time. So, but even, right, executing 10 lines of code is different, executing 100 lines of code is, right. In React, when we have 100 lines, it initially execute the 100 lines and save the status of each line. Yes. Whenever second time it detect the changes, only that particular line only it will execute, it won't touch the rest of. So that obviously, right, second time only one line executes, so we will be getting the response in very less span of time. So that when we page became the light and your website became lightweight, and then obviously we get the more performance. The same way the React apps. Every time it captures your data of your page. When it receives the request, next time it compares the both. Whatever the changes there, those will be updated to user, so that your page will become like the concept is called as a virtual DOM. We will discuss clearly. So what happens, right? Unnecessary loadings or refreshes won't happen in React.js 100%. Who will take care of that? Yes, React itself will take care of that. So our responsibility is to update the data in a proper way. That's it. We have to give the instruction. Then rest of the part it will take care by React, so that we will have a perfect loading. Unnecessary loadings, unnecessary executions get avoided by the React.js library. Any doubts? Ramya, Pavitra?
No, sir.
Right.
No,
Obviously.
sir.
Right. That is one. Next one. As our friend Pavitra told, components. Yes. Components are not new as per my experience. Earlier in C or C++, Java, we used to call it as a classes or functions or procedures, anything. Now we named it as a component. Nothing but we cannot write whole application code into a single file, right? We can write it, but what's the problem? It is difficult for us to maintain. It is difficult for us to debug when we have an issue. So because all code is in a single file, which are tightly coupled, so that if one of the line has issue, obviously rest of the lines won't execute it. So that's why what we do, we divide it into small programs or blocks that we call as a classes or a functions. Okay, nothing but, let's say for example, we have an application, we create one page for the login, we create one page for the logout, we create one page for the users. So dividing the whole business functionality into subparts, we call it as a component. which can be private, which can be public. Some components can be reusable, some components will be only private. Nobody can use it. It has its own functionality. Okay. Next one. Another great feature of React.js is data, one-way data flow. Data flow. That means, what does it means? Only data get flow from higher parent component to child component, but now in reverse also possible. But what is the benefit? See, since we started our interaction, mutual communication is happening. So once I hear the response from you, then only I'm moving forward to next content. What happens sometimes? If I'm waiting for your response, sometimes you might have some internet. So that's why you're not able to send the response to me. But still I wait. So there is some delay. That is one thing. And also I should worry about my content. If you understand it, and whatever, if you understand it, and whatever you take it and save it, and if you change the content, then it's effect to me. So I should always think about my security of the data when when it get transferred to the another component. React handles that also. React always sends the data from parent to child in a read-only mode. Read-only means they can only read. They can only read. If they're trying to child components, child pages, trying to edit the data which they receive from the parent, obviously React throws a message saying that data you received is a read only. You can only read it. It is not allowed to write it the data directly. Now, you may ask me the question. So it is not always the scenarios that we receive the data and read it. Sometimes we should manipulate something as per the business requirement of the child component. So obviously nobody stops. The child base can take the data into a local variable and edit that. In that way, what happen? Your data will be safe, and your original data will not have any impact. So the original data will be safe, and also parent can start executing the rest of the code, so that the communication happens very fast, because parent won't wait the response from the child, because if the data is protected, why should the parent wait for the response from the child? Just pull the data, push the data, and start executing the rest of this. So there will be very less delay in getting the responses between two components. Got it? Right. Any doubts, guys, so far? Next one, React.js supports CSR, client-side rendering versus server-side rendering. SSR. Both. For the server-side rendering, yeah, only React, we achieve only minimal stuff. But when combined with the Next.js, we can completely make our React.js run from the server side. Let me clarify what is client side and what is server side. Yeah, guys, when we practice any software on your local machine, when we run the application, it takes some time to see the result on the browser. When you go immediately to the browser, initially we will see the white page, and then we see some some JavaScript files are getting loaded, and then whatever. After after few seconds only, we'll able to see the application on our local browser. What happens when we run the application? The maximum work done on the browser. Browser has to convert the code into browser understandable language, interpret it, conversion, as well as downloading the required resources from the Google or whatever. So maximum stuff on the browser. So because conversion, compilation, everything done by the browser. So that's why we will see some latency when we execute the application locally. But when the same application, when we are accessing from the server, we see immediate response, because when we deploy the code to the server, that means the production server or whatever server, we converted everything. Everything we converted, we optimize our code, we converted everything. After only we deploy our application on the server, so that server directly throws the HTML. That means whatever with the data or whatever, because we done this conversion everything before we deploy the application on the server. That is called as a server side rendering. That means from the server directly the file gets downloaded on the browser, so that we will see the response immediately. From client side, browser has to convert everything, browser has to done. So that means client side, we will it appears during the development on our local machine. Server side means after everything conversion, everything, the final optimized code we develop on the server. Benefit means, obviously, very general example, when we have an internet connection, we don't have an internet connection, even we won't see any single HTML view on the content on the browser. We just see the white page. But when it comes to when you see any normal website, if database connection or something is not working, but still we able to see the design of the page, that is called a server, because we directly get the HTML from the server. So that server has at least the content. But when it comes to client side, until unless dependent resources are available, even we won't able to see the design of the page without data also. So that is called as a client side versus server side rendering. 100% in real time we go for the server side only, because we don't want make customer to irritate, right? So even for database is down, so after sometimes if the database is up, immediately our application will get refreshed and loaded with the data. Right. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Yeah. Firoz, Nishant, Ramya.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. Ramya.
No, sir.
Right. Now that is one. Next one. Another benefit of the React JS, JS6 or PS6. Right. That means anyone who knows the JavaScript or TypeScript, they can start developing the page. When you take Angular, right? TypeScript knowledge is mandatory skill. But when it comes to the React JS, JavaScript, if you have a basic JavaScript knowledge as well as HTML, CSS, that's sufficient. Usually, generally, we write JavaScript in JS file only. We write HTML code in a HTML only. But in front-end technology, any of the front-end technology, we can write JavaScript in a HTML code. And we can write HTML code in JavaScript file. See, right? Usually it is not possible, but React, front-end technologies make that, because to avoid the unnecessary calls. See, if we have a separate JavaScript and if we have a HTML, every time it has to call, even though it is an internal file, but maximum a good developer has to avoid this external or internal calls. So which is called as a JS is JavaScript extension and TypeScript extension, so that we will have our JavaScript and HTML together in a single file, rather than but in old tradition way also we can have a HTML and JavaScript in a single file but in a separate blocks. But when it comes to JSX or TSX, we can have for such a small kind of a functionality, rather than having a code in a JavaScript, we can write in a HTML itself. That is called as a JavaScript expression or extension, or TypeScript expression or extension. Guys, clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
clear.
Right. Good. And React JS is easy to learn when compared to other front-end technology. And even the market is also more than other front-end tech, because it is day by day it is growing, even not, it is not, degrading. Day by day it is growing. Yeah. And one more thing is, it is not always that we should know everything before we start the React.js, like we should know any of the backend technologies like Java, .NET. No, if it is a static website and you don't have any content related website, so we just simply use as a UI React.js as a HTML, React.js as a simple HTML. But Angular we cannot use like that. So that's one. Yeah. So these are the major features, like the major advantage of React.js, it is gives more performance than other front-end technology because of the feature which it has, visual DOM, comparing the previous value and current values, and only update the updated reflected area. That is one. Right. What are the prerequisites required for the React.js technically, or the environment setup? Technically, we need basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, somewhat Bootstrap, basics. Yeah. And somewhat object oriented, not really required object. Oops. This is sufficient for the React.js. And coming to environment setup, what are the requirements for the environment setup? Node.js, any IDE for development, Visual Studio Code. Usually VS Code, we will most of the developers use the Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, or any other free for the developers. Storm, WebStorm or something is there. Right. That's it. Then what? Node.js and Visual Studio Code. And then what is next one is creating React application. That's it. Yeah. So guys, yes, on the Google, I tell you, when I was start using this React, it was difficult for us to install this React. It took 1 week, 10 days, something like that. It was not that much exposed, or community support was there. So in a Google, go and search how to install the React application. Very, very simple, 2 or 3 steps, that's it. See if you are able to install successfully, obviously. If not, let me know, I'll forward the document. I want you to go through that process. Yeah. Next one. Why need React? Obviously, performance. And for the better performance, more responsive single page applications development. When to use React? What kind of application we need React? Complex applications which are data centric, more navigations, data centrics, more refreshes, IoT related application, Internet of Things, network related, animation related. So those kind of applications, React is the best, because let's take for example data centric or network related application, or IoT in the sense means logistics, where we control the devices through the software, that is called as IoT. So what happened? Let's say very simple example, logistics, right? When you see a containers traveling on the roads, so few containers are cool containers, few are wet containers. Cool containers means any milk related, any other stuff which need the AC even on the roads also, on the container itself. So how can we track the location? How can we track the temperature of that particular vehicle, and the air pressure and the fuel pressure, fuel levels? So all those can be monitored from our software. Those kind of a software, we call it as IoT, Internet of Things. So that container from the container from the devices, sensors. The sensors collect the data from the, because at the fuel they'll install one sensor. For the tires they'll install one sensor to get the air levels, and for the cooling also obviously sensors. All the sensors will take the data and report to a satellite. From their satellite, our application software will get the data and displays on the dashboard. That is called as IoT. So when especially take logistics domain, every fraction of seconds we receive a lot of data from a single vehicle, because when we track the location, obviously every minute second, nanoseconds, we receive the longitude and latitude. When you take 1 hour history of that vehicle, you see a lot of data. So what has to be changed on the user's view? Only the vehicle position, Google Map, right? When you order any food on the Zomato or Swiggy, when you on our Google Map, only the vehicle route only change. The rest of will be remain same almost. Only that navigation of that the order by changes. So when you refresh the page every nanoseconds, after some time the browser get crash. So we should only change the movements of that particular vehicle. So those kind of application we go for React, because React won't refreshes the page every time. Only reflected area it will rearrange and display to the user. And also animation related. When you have 10 blocks, visual blocks, where user able to see, and only one block has some update. Instead of reorganizing the 10 visual blocks, only that particular box will be rearranged, so that lot of resources will be saved. And more data, where you have a requirement and you receive the data frequently, and then every time you have to process, React is the best option without any second thought. With a small such, it is not a thumb rule that only for the complex application we go for React. No, any for any kind of application we go for React or any other front-end technologies. But only these are the specific application where we maximum market go for the React.js. Not when you have a less amount of data to process and very rare we get the update, those kind of application we go for the Angular, which is right. Angular is a Angular, which, because it is a framework, it do a maximum in things for the developer, and developer won't do customization as he request, as he will, as he wish. But when it comes to library, there will be a lot of leverage under the for the developer, where what to do, what not to do, developer can easily maintain, decide. But framework, it is not. We will see the difference between library and framework in moving sessions. So these are the 3 Ws. What is React.js? Why need to React.js? When to use the React.js? So if someone comes and yeah, hey, we have this kind of applications, which technology we want to prefer? Yes, obviously the usage and behavior of the application and the size of the application, which is a technology. Guys, any doubts?
No.
Clear?
Yes, we are clear.
Right. So we should know what kind of application we has to choose. Right. So if no doubts, yeah, I will wind up this session. For the next session, I request you guys to make your laptops have has React install on it. In next session, we'll start we'll create one React application, and then we'll go through the project structure, and then we'll also discuss about, if time permits, we'll also discuss about some technical terms which we frequently hear during the live development. If you have any, guys, please, I'll give it 2-3 seconds. You can even ping your doubts on the chat also. And also you can share your feelings of, I mean, your knowledge also, whatever you have gone through so far the React.js. Yes, Nishant, please.
Yeah, I have installed Node and as well as in VS Code. When I try to run the application, it is not running in my personal laptop, but in my office laptop, the same it is working fine. I can able to run one small sample application.
Good. So first you have created Node.js on top of, not top of, parallel also you have installed the Visual Studio Code, right?
Yes, yes,
And also you have created the application,
yes.
right? So from where did you're trying to open the application, run the application?
In VS Code only, I opened it and I just created some sample application to run,
Hmm.
but it is not running.
What is error it is giving?
Some error I don't remember. Even I didn't take screenshot as well, I guess.
Let me show you that.
Because of my name of the computer got changed, I don't know.
No, I tell you. Yeah, I got your doubt. See, from the Visual Studio or from the Node.js command prompt, from anywhere else we can run our application. So you should navigate to your particular specific folder. I'll show you where.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your project won't work. Where is this Visual Studio Code? Yeah, it is opening. Huh? Hmm. So let's say this is your application. Okay.
Okay.
So open from the, how we open? File, open, right?
No, not from here. In I create after creating Node.js create React app command. It will create one app, right? From that folder, I right click on that and I open it in open with code like that. I did.
No, no, no. I tell you, file, okay, open
Yeah.
folder.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, this is your project. Imagine, okay, total
Okay.
folder we should select. Yeah, it is opening. Right. So now from terminal only you run the application, right?
Here terminal only.
Make sure that if you open from the file open folder in the terminal, we will see the perfect project path
Okay.
without any doubt. Here we should cross check the path of our project. It's coming. What is the command you use? npm start,
NVM
right?
start. Yeah.
Yes, correct. See, right? You should also verify the path.
How we can verify here? Which command we have to use?
No, when you open the terminal,
Automatically it will.
automatically it comes. Now
Oh.
here you issue the npm start.
Okay.
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 Right. Right. So I request you guys to next in the next session, you should be ready with the environment setup. So tomorrow we'll directly start creating the application and discussing about the project structure. Okay. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
Sir,
Yeah. Carry on, Pavi.
is there any chance of creating portfolio, sir? Portfolio.
I did not get your question clearly.
Can we create portfolio
Where?
I mean, in this project, can we create portfolio in this, I mean, in this class?
Portfolio
Not
means
today.
no. Portfolio means the project you're talking about. I did not get your question clearly. Are you? I hope you are a Telugu guy, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. మీరు చెప్పండి.
సార్ అంటే మనం ఈ ఈ 1 మంత్ కోర్స్‌లో మనం పోర్ట్‌ఫోలియో క్రియేట్ చేస్తామా? పోర్ట్‌ఫోలియో అంటే అదే
She's asking our project.
Project
Ah.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
యాహ్! సార్ పోర్ట్‌ఫోలియో ప్రాజెక్ట్.
Portfolio project. No.
Portfolio project means personal portfolio you are asking.
యాహ్! ఐయామ్ ఆస్కింగ్ ఫర్ పర్సనల్.
Your personal,
Like personal portfolio means like personal CV kind of thing she's asking.
that is what you're asking, Pavitra?
యాహ్! యెస్ సార్.
No, resume. Yeah, resume. I can guide you. No, I'm talking, and I was in the impression that you're talking about something, the project which is like a portfolio. No, yeah, you after completion of this, at least yeah, not at least you get your confidence, and then you can add any project, something, But I don't know. Yeah, carry on.
Not assume, sir. I mean, we create our personal portfolio, sir, like by creating animations, likewise.
Oh, hey Nishant, I got. She wanted to implement a page with
Yeah.
her portfolio, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, you can. No, in
Okay.
this, in this course, no, we will discuss the projects from scratch onwards. But if you personally want that, by using the features, you can implement the portfolio and then give to me for the review. So we can sit together, review, and then you can give the demo to the our teammates.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, that is
Yes.
related to animation. That is not a major part. Now I got, you should be asking the question. So whether, I mean, how to create a portfolio process, something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Because
Yeah.
I already have tried for that, and I have done basic React project also
Mhm.
previously.
Mhm.
So I need to learn much about that. So yeah, sir.
Are you from India or you're, out of India?
I'm from Tirupati.
From there. Okay, no issue. See, once I tell you, when we cover half of the, not even half of 40% somewhere else, so you get that confidence if you practice perfectly. I'm telling, practice. So on
Okay.
a Google, obviously you might have gone through that project on the Google, right? Portfolio project.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh, the why you are not, I mean, you're not able to understand fully because the features you are not able to understand. Say something prop, something like that, right? And then navigation and something. So once we finish the state management, props, all those stuff, so like life cycle events, then you can understand the structure of that project.
Okay.
Then you can do yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Nishant.
Yeah, that's it, sir.
Okay. Next session, yeah, we will start creating the project and we will discuss it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?